All right, y'all, welcome back again to the KSR Performance and Fabrication YouTube channel. If you can't tell, we are at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Indy 800 2026. Won this race last year. Gonna see if maybe we can do it again this year. Got a pretty stacked field of drivers with some new guys that also have some experience. So guys like Bobby Earnhardt and Landon Huffman, big time circle track racers, might have to worry about them. And also the normal crew of, you know, Zach was really fast at the Freedom Factory. My car's been repaired from the crash at the Freedom Factory. But I will say the old Holly EFI number 78 is looking really good considering what it looked like at the end of the race last time. You know, it's time to go racing.
You gonna win this thing?
Time to go winning.
Yeah.
We're not just racing, we're going winning.
We need a podium one sim.
Yeah, we do.
We need that.
Yeah.
Sure. And you know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. I'll let you store that at my house.
Oh.
I would do that for you.
Okay, well.
You know,
your house does have more room than mine does.
Exactly. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you use it whenever you want.
Either that or we'll have it at the shop. And maybe you guys can come use it if you're local.
Oh.
I mean, maybe that's what we do with it. We set the shop for us to play with, but then we let other people use it as well.
Yep. And we can all set times at the tracks, and they gotta like try to beat the time. And then if they beat it, they got a shirt.
Maybe it's like there's a cost per hour or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, anyways, let's get through the intro and get to qualifying. All right, y'all, we're suited up. Hopefully my cameras stay alive.
Put them on the dash and put this thing on the pole.
Oh, I guess we'll find out how good this car is after the fix. We're gonna do the best we can and put on a show for you guys. So here comes qualifying. Professional NASCAR driver over here.
Alright, I'm gonna tell you something. You should listen to. You already know this, I feel like. What is so eye-opening about the NASCAR stuff is you go down there and turn in, right? And for that first 2 seconds off the wall, you're like, wee, you know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're using like, say, 20% of your tire, then 50, then 100%, and you're riding through the corner, right?
Yeah.
That's great. But if somebody else on the track can use 100% of their tire longer, they peel right off the wall and then they're 100% of the tire the whole way, you're done.
Yeah. Momentum.
So my whole thing now is like getting to 100% of the tire, not over, and then using that the whole turn.
That's
like
fast.
the whole concept.
That's real fast.
That's what I focus on now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
nice
know.
lap. Nice lap.
Nice.
Very nice.
I just thought about it while I was doing it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, he got me on the pole so far. We'll see who else puts down a lap.
Well, I told the guys if I get pole, we're going to pull in first.
Dang it. Ah, crap. All right, can George put it on the pole? What do we got? What do we got?
Oh no.
Oh, he slowed down a little bit. All right, so Cletus, me, Squirrel, Brad, Zach, Bobby, Landon up to 7th. All right, well, looks like I'm P2. Thought I had a little more left in it, but I didn't want to use it up on qualifying.
I feel like, all right, this is what it's like being a crew member on like
There's a little more
racing
in it.
teams. There's a little bit more.
There's a little more in it.
I hear it from you, multiple other people,
Yeah.
other customers. Me.
Yep.
He's like, I swear I have 2 more tenths in it.
Yeah.
Where are my 2 tenths?
Yeah.
Where?
I left them on the track.
Oh, you left them on the track?
I'm gonna find them during the race.
Okay.
Yeah,
You better.
find them on the race.
You better.
That's
you
my
better
plan.
Find that damn simulator.
That's my plan. Apparently, we're inverting the whole field because Cleat's on the pole. Dang it! I should have pushed it a little more. My 3rd lap was my quick lap, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 29.9. Your second.
Well,
and then
the 29.9 I was passing big country.
Yeah.
So I knew that lap sucked, and then you're like 29.9 P1. I'm like, oh shoot, I need to get this last one.
Yeah, that's why I didn't tell you until you asked, is because I wanted you to send it again.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, full field invert. It's sounding like. So here we go.
Hey, you ready to do this, loser?
That's right.
Just remember, you're in the back, and you suck, and yeah, all the other negative reinforcement that
I'm
makes
not sure
you
that
win.
works. I'm not sure that works.
Well,
let's go win this thing.
Get ready to come out of turn number 4. Big Country on the inside, bringing the field to a 3-wide formation. The green flag is out, and the Indy 800 presented by Heatwave Visual is underway at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Several drivers 3 and 4 wide as they come out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Look at them fan out as they enter turn number 3. Several drivers having some issues on that opening start. Going to lose several positions on board with the Heatwave Visual on board with Squirrel McNutt. You see him down on the inside of the racetrack looking for some daylight as they thunder by for the first time here at the front stretch.
I won't lie, that first lap went a lot smoother than I anticipated going. All of these drivers holding their own no matter the experience level. Bretta Chad, though, all the way up against the wall early on. He's letting that hula skirt tickle that outside wall. Unfortunately, losing a couple spots, but nonetheless, an impressive maneuver so far for that rookie.
Yeah, I thought he had a really good start to the race there, but had issues down there in turn number 1 on lap number 2. Meanwhile, how about Jim York out in front showing the way? Lots of action heating up behind him as, again, the field's starting to kind of spread out a little bit. There you see KSR, Kevin Smith on the inside of Zach Walker and Matt Sanford.
All right, everybody. So for this video, what I have decided to do is to give you guys every single green flag lap in this video replay. Now, you can probably look at the playback speed right now and tell that I have greatly sped it up. Well, I did that so this doesn't turn into a 3-hour-long video. We had a little caution right there for when Jim York got flipped around when him and Frankie J came together exiting turn 2. But I thought I would do this so that we can get through the footage. I can kind of, show you guys or tell you guys about the more interesting parts of the race. But you can also go to the YouTube playback speed and actually slow the video down if you want to watch it in real time. Now, I do plan to post the entire section of the race, the green flag laps, full speed or regular speed on the members only section. If that's something that interests you, become a channel member and you can check it out over there. So there's a spot right here where we're going to go back to real time because I'm working around Cletus and George. You can kind of see I'm coming up, got a little bit of a run on the inside of Cletus. I'm catching George, expecting him to stay low, but he doesn't know I'm there and was about to close the door, and potentially, had I not backed out, I could have wrecked all 3 of us. That was the spot, which if you watch the live stream, that was the spot where you guys heard me talk to Cleet and George and say I could have wrecked us all. And obviously you're trying to analyze these things while you're racing to make sure that you try and avoid contact, especially early in the race. You guys know there's always going to be cautions throughout these races, so the goal is to not be one of those cautions, especially when it's with Cletus and George, because I don't want to be the guy that wrecks Cleet and Squirrel McNutt, because that would just be bad. So we're kind of picking through here. Gave Brent a little love tap there on the back bumper, and I feel like every single one of these races, everybody gets better. And when I say that, I'm being genuine. Like, you can tell if you look at past races how quickly the leaders started lapping the guys at the back of the field. And you can see all of our, like, even though this is sped up, you can still tell that we have very similar race pace. So I mess up a corner, they get away from me a little bit. They mess up a corner, like right there, they're Cleet and George are rubbing on each other, and I get some speed on them and I can work my way around them. So being able to win these things is getting tougher and tougher, and somehow I keep managing to pull it off. Now I do have some strategies that I play out for these races, but, and I think right here, the little miscalculation on my corner entry slid up into Brent, but you guys can see the high line is definitely the faster, talking to Brent while we're out there racing. But you guys will see that the high line is faster on the straightaways, and that kind of plays into things. And we're back real time again because there's about to be some exciting live feed footage right now.
And it looks like the battle there has really kind of stacked the field up behind him, and it's allowed the likes of Jack Stan, DeBerti, and Kevin Smith to get into this battle, as J.H. Diesel now in jeopardy of losing the 4th position, as DeBerti looking to try to get back where he was when this race restarted back on lap 16.
Kevin Smith is so much fun to watch as he kind of just lurks. Oh, and into the wall. Tank swap. We see that carnage go across the front stretch, able to maintain control of the car. An incredible save there by the 78 of Kevin Smith. Doesn't even lose a position. Might have even actually gained one.
That was a little bit more than a love tap there to the outside wall, but Kevin Smith somehow keeps the right foot planted and stays in it. And like you said, able to get the position, and he continues on. But I'll be very curious to see how much damage that right rear took.
You especially don't want to see a tire rub come to fruition a little bit later on. We're only 24 laps into this 80-lap event. But Kevin, you can see he already throwing that tail end out of that race car in the 78. He's going to have to keep that right rear saved a little bit to have something in the end here, especially knowing that there was potential damage. But he says, I would rather maintain from the front than the back.
And we've got trouble in turn number 2.
So, as you guys saw in that little live clip previous to this, almost had a race ender right there. And most of that is on me. I would say 98.6% of that was on me, because I was planning to follow, I think it was DeBerti ahead of me, follow him around JH, but JH was clear, so JH started to move up and close the door. He doesn't know I'm back there. So once I saw he was going to come up in front of me, I checked up, kind of readjusted my line and clipped the fence there. Luckily, didn't seem to hurt the car too bad. However, that right there, I get a little love tap from a jack stand on corner entry, and I slide up into JH, and it knocks the right rear fender in on the tire. So obviously that is quite a bit concerning, and it's only when I set the car in the corner. So after a live clip that's coming up here, we'll turn the in-car volume up and you guys can see if you can hear it also.
As Bobby Earnhardt has gotten to the inside. Brad DeBerti also trying to follow suit, and Ty Braun going to lose 2 for the price of 1 as he'll go from 2nd back to 4th.
Ty Braun getting stuck on that outside groove, and it just was not working for him. Bobby Earnhardt able to take that 2nd spot. Brad DeBerti now able to get around Ty Braun and bringing with him, that is exactly who you think it is. The 78 KSR Kevin Smith now has cracked the top 5 and is going to try and crack even the top 4. But again, he's a smart racer. He may just let this play out.
This race is playing out exactly the way Kevin Smith wants it to. He started deep in the field, not even to the halfway point. He's worked his way up into the 4th position, gotten around the 6th of Ty Braun, as we got big time problems here with Cletus and Squirrel again, as they just cannot get off of each other, as they're certainly putting on one heck of a show. But Cletus might have a tire rub, as we see smoke coming off the back of his car. And there you see Cletus on board. He and Squirrel just cannot get away from each other.
So maybe you heard that little bit of tire rub on the right rear, but it's something that I can hear in the car every time I really plant the car into the corner and the right rear isn't sliding. Which, if you saw my corner entry right there, I kind of slid the car in to kind of the mid part of the corner, and that's kind of how my driving style is at this big flat track, where I kind of rotate the car early, let it slide a little bit, and then if I time it just right, I can pick up the throttle and rock it right out of the corner, and it's real fast. Fast enough to win the race. So doing some racing here with Brad DeBerti, having a good old time, because Brad is also someone that has won, I think he's won a couple of races. I honestly don't remember. But we're back to super fast speed here again, and you can see on a lot of quarter entries I counter steer because I'm sliding the car in, and get up and I work past Bobby Earnhardt here, so I'm up to second. And one of the things I noticed following some of these guys, but I remember when I was following Frankie, I saw that he was actually smoking the right front tire on his corner entry. So didn't feel the need to get up and catch and race with him because, one, I expected there to be another caution, and two, I expected that he was probably going to have to pit for a right front tire at some point. Now, I'm also thinking if there's a caution, I need to pit and see if I can get this right rear tire situation fixed. And thankfully, we get a caution so that I can hash it out with Eddie on the radio, which you will see coming up here in real time, as well as the pit stop. And you'll see what decision we make.
Part of me wants to pit now and get him to fix it. I made it through the field once, but everybody's going to be figuring it out better as we get through there. I'm kind of used up the tires getting to this far, but God, I hate to cut the right rear like the 5 to go for something.
They're going to be able to maneuver a little bit better than some of their counterparts that like to stay out.
Right rear tire rub. Right rear tire rub.
The way to come though is
right rear.
all four doing that new car, but hey, Kevin Smith said the same thing. I'm going to get a new right front, a new Nitto right front going on as well. And glad they made that decision to allow these drivers if they had that vibration.
Right, we'll get it. I guess we're putting the right front on it too. Okay. Yeah.
So now they're electing.
Yeah, that right rear, it's not cut anywhere, but it's warm. Okay. Well, I can hear it hitting when it. Yeah. So it's not dread, but it's definitely, you know, like. Can they bang the fender out? Yeah, we're getting the pull.
We're still working on the 30 Cletus. With Cletus, it might be more than just a right front change.
Dave's pulling it now. They're gonna put a tire on that one too? I think you need one.
Most of the paint you see now is actually
Well, as you guys saw from that live stream footage of the pit stop, I came in and only mentioned right rear, and they put a right front tire on it, which I am very thankful for, because in the driver's meeting they had said you were only going to get tires if you had one going flat. But when they put a right front on this thing and fixed my right rear, it's time to get to the front of this thing and see just how far we can get before the end of the race.
Most of this race taking advantage of those guys that came down and took those right front tires. He's already back up into the top 5, finds himself battling for position here, even within the top 3. He's now put DeBerti in the rearview mirror and allowing Landon Huffman, who's taking a 3-wide situation, Kevin Smith on the bottom for position.
Kevin Smith trying to get a couple of spots here as they're 3-wide. Here comes Cletus up the middle. Contact there between he and the 78 as Smith goes all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. And you were talking there about Dr. Parker. not a regular competitor, doesn't run all the races. Coming off he had a second place finish at Bristol. Look at Smith, Squirrel McNutt, and Cletus. Big Country getting into that as well. And for Kevin Smith right now, he's got to be so frustrated because he knows he's got a fast car, but Cletus doing it, making it as hard as he can to try to get back up to the front, because Cletus knows if Kevin Smith gets by him, he's going to have a really good shot to get to the front.
Absolutely. Cletus wheeling and dealing. Kevin Smith keeping it clean. Oh, contact.
Big time
Big
problem
melee
here
on the front stretch.
Yeah, Brent from PFI Speed is around and somehow, some way does not collect any of the rest of the field, as that was right up.
All right, well, as you can rewind and see, Brent spun out right in front of me. He got some help. So if you go back and watch the live feed, you know, they have some replays of how all that went down. But thankfully, picked the right direction when I went to avoid him. I zigged and I needed to zig. Thankfully, I didn't zag, and we missed him. And as you can maybe tell, it's getting a little more racy up at the front of this thing. So Landon Huffman has worked his way up to the front. You got Bobby Earnhardt up there. Frankie J's still hanging out up there. You got Brad DeBerti. Ty's up front. We got Cletus up front. Like, it's all getting racy. So, you know, just like I was kind of thinking when I made that pit stop, yes, I can come in, get a tire, and go to the back, but am I going to be able to work my way through and get by everybody again? Because as the race goes on, everybody kind of gets better because you figure out the track more. You know, that's a symptom of these, or a result of how we show up. We qualify, we get no practice, you know, because I realize that it's entertainment, but it's also racing. So there's a blend of, you know, you guys may have seen Cletus and Squirrel out there messing around with each other, not wrecking each other, but leaning on each other, having a good time, but making it a show for everybody. And, you know, for me, my skill set is trying to win. That's how I try to put on a show. So you see we got a little bit of door banging up front, and I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I want to be in the middle of all this. But racing inside of Parker, he's inside of Frankie J, and you'll see him all of a sudden turn right there. So he's just barely coming up the track, not realizing that Frankie J is still on the outside of him, turns him into the fence, and I think this is the big one that collects quite a few cars. So we had a red flag situation here, so that's why it got dark all of a sudden. But thankfully, when Brent had his spin, nobody else hit him, didn't really get any damage, and he's already back up there fighting for us again with a new tire, or fighting with us again. And actually, that's the incident where him and Cletus got together, and Cletus spun, kept going, but nobody else got damage. But now I'm in third. We got Ty, Landon, and myself. So Ty has been conserving tire for most of the race, and Landon and I both have newer tires. So Landon got into this car, a backup car, I think in the mid-20s. I don't know the exact lap that he pitted, but him and I have raced around each other during the race, but not really like raced hard against each other. So obviously when you're at the front of the group leading the race, it's go time. So you can see I'm leaving him a little bit of room out there because he's still out there. And, you know, big shout out to Eddy spotting me and giving me an extra set of eyes, because you can look in all the mirrors, you can think you know where you're at, but when you've got somebody outside of you, it's a huge help for, you know, knowing when you can move up, when you can move down, when what the cars ahead of you are doing, like if they're pulling away from you, if you're catching them, or if the cars behind you are catching you. All of that stuff is super awesome. And right now, we've worked our way to the front of this thing. And to be honest, I'm probably mirror driving a little more than I should, like keeping an eye on what Landon's doing, because I know he's fast, got a ton of experience, and you're going to see where that bites me here in a lap or two. But pretty excited to be back out front of this thing because I'm thinking, all right, if I pull this right, I might be able to stay out in front of this thing until the end. But I also know there's going to be more cautions. So, is this the corner? Yep. So, I changed my corner entry by about 10 feet and got big time sideways going into the corner. Gave Landon the opportunity to get right back by me again. And now I'm going to end up following him because he's fast enough that unless he makes a mistake, I don't think I'm going to be able to get back by him. So I kind of come to that conclusion after racing pretty hard to keep up with him. You can see I kind of catch him on corner entry, and then he does a better job mid-corner to exit. So he kind of pulls away and he starts pulling a little gap on me. So at this point, I decide, because I have a gap behind me, that I can afford to conserve a little bit of tire with the hopes that there's going to be another caution that will put us side by side on a restart, and I may be able to get ahead of him after a restart. You know, these are all things, just telling you guys what's going through my head while we're doing these races. Maybe you guys like this kind of stuff, maybe you don't. We appreciate you being here no matter what you think of us, because, you know, this is all super exciting stuff for us to be able to be a part of these races and somehow becoming the winningest driver in the Crown Vic Series. You know, it's all a heck of a lot of fun, and with this win, I'm going to end up with a Podium 1 racing simulator, which is awesome because the simulator that I have is a little bit older and it needs a new computer. So, you know, getting a brand new fresh one, even though my old one is motion and the one that I won is not motion, it's still pretty awesome to have, you know, some modern equipment. But I'm still, you know, kind of settling in behind Landon here, trying to not let him get too far away, because the bigger gap that he creates, he probably knows that he can save some tire too, because he knows I'm not catching him. So inevitably, you know, I don't know what's happening behind me, but I'm sure hoping there's going to be another caution. And after making a bunch of laps here, I'm starting to think there might not be, and he might get away from this. But then there's the caution. Haha, it's time to go.
Here tonight. You also got Zach Walker and Brad DeBerti starting to kind of factor into this here late in the going. Zach's kind of been quiet most of the night, but here where we need it, as the field starts to dwindle down, starting to lose some cars late in this one, and try to settle it here with 16 laps to go. Landon Huffman making his first Cletus McFarland Crown Vic start, trying to get a win with the winningest Crown Vic driver, Kevin Smith, who is outside as the green flag comes back here in the Indy 800 presented by Heatwave Visual. KSR going to try to get it done on the outside. Huffman strong on the bottom, leaning on each other, coming out of two. They are touching all the way down the back straightaway as they enter three.
Little hip check action by Landon Huffman through 3 and 4. Just enough room to gain that main position on Kevin Smith. Should be able to clear him coming down here the front stretch. Ty Braun going to slip back into that third position, watching these two continue to battle out. Man, if I'm Ty Braun in the 6th right now, I don't know if I sit back and watch these two or stick my nose in the middle of the battle.
No, if I'm Braun, patience right now, because that 75 and 78, they were very aggressive, leaning on each other that last time down the back straightaway. A little bit more cordial this time as they enter 3. But for Ty Braun, talked with him earlier, he was somebody who certainly would love to get one of these simulators and get one of these rigs here tonight. He's in a very good position here, but he's got to try to get around two very, very fast cars. You saw Smith and Huffman make contact again that last time down in 3 and 4 as they come out of turn number 2. Looks like Huffman just cannot quite get the advantage on the outside like he would want to. KSR not going anywhere.
And And these two allowing a little bit of breathing room behind them. We saw Braun just get a little bit sideways, but able to hold that. A good, and we've got one in the wall.
Yeah,
but
Big Country, a little bit of an IRP stripe there in the middle of 3 and 4 as we remain green. But Big Country going to lose a little bit of ground here. But look at this battle for the race lead. This is what the fans come to see. KSR and Landon Huffman putting on a show. KSR going to get clear, and we'll see what Landon Huffman tries to do to try to retake the lead.
Drove it a little too hard there, Huffman did, and lost some of that grip, pushed that car up the racetrack. Gonna have to re-rack, restack, and try and regain that momentum to get back to Kevin Smith. He's already back to his back bumper heading into turn 1. He'll try and retrack him down. Kevin Smith doing the same thing, letting that racetrack slide up the race car, or the race car slide up the racetrack, but able to keep that momentum down the backstretch. He's now got about 2 car lengths on Huffman in second.
KSR trying to get the 3rd win in the Indy 800. He'd be the first driver to ever win it back-to-back. And we got problems. Big Country and Zach Walker down in turns 3 and 4.
All right, so that was an awesome little bit of racing with Landon. I mean, we were leaning on each other, bumping each other in the corners, like never trying to get so out of control that we wreck each other. But coming to what I'm hoping is the final restart here, because we're inside of 10 laps to go. I get a good jump on Landon, and then I notice in my mirrors that Ty actually gets enough of a run to get up beside him, and they start racing, which gives me the full track to myself. Absolutely nothing to worry about, because when 2 cars are racing side by side with each other, typically they're going to be slower than one car who's out just making really good laps by himself or herself, whatever. So I sped this back up because literally I'm just making laps right now, watching them in the mirror, watching them battle. Like Ty gets ahead, and then Landon gets back inside of him. Cletus kind of enters the mix. Bobby Earnhardt's in the mix. Zach's in the mix. Like, it's all not 100% guaranteed that we're going to go caution free until the end, but I'm hoping that nobody wrecks, there's no problems, and then I can bring this thing home. But inevitably, the mysterious yellow flag comes out right here. And this was probably my most frustrating point of the race, because I make a lap. There's nothing on the track. Nobody's crashed, but it's entertainment. We're making a caution for the end.
This is going to be a very quick yellow here, Hannah, as we are going to restart. And some of my favorite words in racing, green, white, checkered finish to decide it here at IRP. All of the fans are on their feet like they have been all night long. Can KSR become the first ever 3-time winner of the Indy 800? We're going to find out here in 2 laps. Can Ty Braun get it done? Coming to the restart. 2 laps to go here at IRP. They're fanning out quickly down into turn number 1. KSR looking to get clear of Ty Braun. Behind them, Landon Huffman also factoring in as the drivers are all on the nitrous button here as they'll get ready to come to the line. 1 lap to go for KSR as he works his way through 3 and 4.
Anything these drivers have left, they're going to lay it on the line. Landon Huffman trying to now hold on to a podium finish here in his rookie debut with the Crown Vics, but Brad DeVerde wants to take that away from him. Ty Braun looking safely in that 2nd position. That battle now for your last opportunity on the podium.
KSR, final time through turns 1 and 2. Clear out in front by about 6 car lengths over the 6 of Ty Braun. Final time into turns 3 and 4. Here he comes out of turn number 4. The winningest driver in Cletus Crown Vics continues it. Kevin Smith is a 3-time winner of the Indy 800, presented by Heat Wave Visual.
Kevin Smith, three-time Indy 800 winner. Once again at IRP. KSR, Kevin Smith.
All right, let's hear it for Kevin Smith. Make some noise. Dude, so what's it been? I think it's 5 years we've been here. 4 or 5, and you've won 3 of them. How do you feel?
Hey, I love Indy, and you guys are all awesome too. Thank you all so much for coming out. Landon and Ty made me earn that one, and especially these guys calling the caution late on me, but I just made them work for it.
What? Who did that? Dude, hell of a race. Man, you are so good here. You just... Those last 30 laps, you just crank it up, and we can't get you.
Yeah, Ty and actually Landon and I had some awesome running, like dooring each other down the backstretch. I think we turned the fastest laps of the race side by side with each other. Man, it was awesome. Like these races are tough. Like they're not easy races to win, and like the people that show up to do these things, like it's freaking awesome. And thank you so much for including me in these. Thank you all so much for coming. Like I don't even know what to say. This is freaking awesome.
Well, you won a Podium 1 simulator, so that's pretty awesome. That'll be shipped right to your shop here in a few days. Hell yeah. All right, make some noise for our winner, Kevin Smith. Another win for the Heatwave Visual Indy 800. He has 3 of them. All right, let's talk to Ty. Ty, you got up there. You even led some laps. And what, finished second?
Finished second. Had to work for the whole thing, man. Kevin is so fast, it's insane.
I know, and you're really fast here too. To get up to the front, manage the field, you did great, but what happened there? He got around you.
I just ran out of tire. I ran the same tire the whole track and never went in for a pit. And there's a couple people I battled with that I probably shouldn't have. I ate a little bit of tire. I thought I was conservative enough, and I turned it up a couple laps too soon, and I just didn't have the tires to catch them.
All right, well, hell of a race from Ty. Brad, how'd you fare out there, buddy? Let's hear it.
Man, I felt good. You know, I pulled in the top 3, which I'm stoked about. I had the wrong gear, and everyone Bobby was behind me, pushed me at the checker all the way to the end, but it just wasn't enough. But stoked. Thank you again for having us out.
Absolutely, brother. We love having you out here, and I'm sure we'll see you in Stafford. All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We did it again. I'm still not believing it, but holy crap, that was awesome. Got my boy Eddy on the radio.
Yeah, only reason you won right here.
Yeah, you did killer on the radio.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm gonna admit my fault. There was one green that I missed completely.
Yeah, I'm
like, oh, they're going my fault.
No, it was amazing, and like these things are so awesome. And going into this, I knew Landon Huffman would be tough if he got it figured out. And sure enough, him and I had some battling there towards the end. And then he got hung up on a restart and got shuffled back to, I think, 3rd. I saw Ty was behind me, and I knew if I could just keep hitting my marks, keep running the same line, they were going to have a real hard time getting by me without wrecking me. And then they threw a caution, of course, right at the end. And I had to beat them on the restart, and I did, thank goodness. Got up clear and then just sent it for the last 2 laps, hit my marks. You might have seen the one time where I passed Landon and then totally screwed the corner up, big sideways, and he shot right around me. And I don't think I could have passed him if he didn't have a big mistake, because like the cars are all so even. When you get really good guys driving them, it's really hard to pass. So I'm fired up. We want a sim. I'm going to be selling my old one, which it's really old and needs some work.
Sell the new one.
I'm not. Why would I sell the new one?
And fix your old one so we can get some tools for the shop. You said we're getting a positioner if we win.
I did.
You said that. Oh my God, I just remembered.
Yes. Guess I got to buy a positioner now. I have been looking at them.
I don't want a Ching Chong Temu eBay one, right? I want the baddest mother we can get.
Easy now. Easy. All right, well, we're leaving this off. Check out the scoreboard. Number 78 at the front. Ty to birdie, 75's Landon. Tell you what, like, old Cletus is tough to race with because he isn't scared to put a door on you. And like,
he said, I paid for everybody's crown Vic. I will use everybody's crown Vic.
I'm going to use them in the corners, and we're going to do what we're going to do. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, following along. Time to do some burnouts tomorrow. We're going to Waffle House. Yeah. That's right. Time to go to the Waffle House with the trophy. And I'm probably going to wear my suit because I'm cold. So, see you guys in the next one.